So who do you think's going to win?
I think, well, it's quite easy in a way. Right. So here's what it is. Tyson's going to win. All right. Tyson's going to win as long as Jake doesn't come out with no kind of like lucky punch. Yeah. Any boxer can get bashed by a lucky punch and then that just throws them off. So there's always going to be that risk. Yeah. But Tyson's defense should be good enough for him to like avoid that overall, at least for a fair amount of time. And if he can avoid any lucky punches getting through, then that's it. Then he's fine. Then he'll get in. What they're saying about Tyson is he's going to cut angles. And the thing is, he can come at people from just anywhere. That's one of his things. He can be in front of you, and then the next thing you know, he's like right next to you here. Like just looking at you. Do you know what I mean? He's that quick. Every step that he makes comes with a movement where like he's dodging you, he's watching you, he's finding openings, he's creating openings. So there's that. The other thing is with Tyson though, with him being older, wiser,
More experience.
of course, there's a risk that he's softened a lot. He's very much a guy with a heart now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's all about imparting knowledge, passing on what he's learned and passing a lot of it on to the next generation. Yeah? He's fought with a lot of demons and he's got that. So, and before I move on, and I think this might be, I don't know about his entire fight history, this might be the fight where it's the only one where his opponent is, I suppose, the champion. I think Tyson's going to come in as a challenger on this one, which is weird. But not only that, but that opponent is promoting it.
Yeah.
So you're doing it where the opponent is the promoter, the opponent is bringing the money, the opponent's bringing the deal, the opponent's doing everything. And Tyson doesn't necessarily hate the opponent. So that makes it like a really unique fight, even for a Tyson fight. Even when you take out the fact that Tyson has aged a lot, it's still, if you took age out of the equation, it's still a very unique situation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because Jake Paul's like, we brought the deal to you, blah, blah, blah. We went. So it's true, they've done all the work, including like when Tyson's had this ulcer scare. You know, stomach ulcer, he threw up a lot of blood and he was feeling weak. Even with that, like Jake Paul and his team have gone away and got that flexibility for the venue, for Netflix, done all the hard work to like make it happen again. And so this is like, so in a way, Tyson is going to be very appreciative. And so my issue is Tyson going to hold back? Is Tyson going to see this as, come on, this is a young guy, young whippersnapper trying to start up his like career in the game and stuff? Is Tyson going to hold back? You know, I don't really hate him. You know, Jake Paul is like also seeing Tyson as one of his heroes. And he mentions that quite often. He's one of my heroes. He's one of my top 5, all this lot. So it's like, is Tyson going to hold back? Tyson needs to remember that although he's extremely deadly, can proper knock out this guy, could cause him some serious damage, Tyson needs to remember that he is not responsible for Jake Paul's safety in this fight. Which is probably going to be something hard for Tyson to think about and really deal with, because Tyson is so responsible nowadays. Yeah? Tyson needs to remember that, look, I'm not responsible for his health and safety. That's up to his team.
Yeah.
His team needs to throw the towel in. The referee needs to see if this guy's in danger or not. That's not Tyson's job. But I feel like Tyson is going to see that as a big part of his responsibility. And I think he's not going to go full power. He won't need to, but I feel like there's a risk that if he doesn't go full power and Jake Paul treats this as a real fight, and Jake Paul is really the scared one, the one full of fear, and Jake Paul projects that fear to Tyson, then Tyson's at risk. And the thing is, when you consider Tyson's age, if he takes the right kind of hit, this could be serious damage for Tyson. In my opinion, this should be Tyson's last ever fight. I think this should be his last ever fight. Because there are talks like Lennox Lewis has come out and said, if you win this fight, Tyson, I'll fight you next.
Do you know about any stipulations in this fight?
I know that it's 2-minute rounds, 8 rounds, 2 minutes each. Tyson says it just takes 5 seconds, 2 seconds to knock somebody out. So I know about that. There's no knockout clause, which was the case in the Roy Jones fight a few years ago. Tyson's most recent fight that had a no knockout clause in it, which I can understand, safety of the fighters considering their ages. People were saying, oh, we haven't seen the old Tyson, want to see the old Tyson come back, but we didn't see him. But that's because of the no knockout clause. And people were saying, of course, that Tyson could have ended that fight at any point if he wanted to, but no knockout in it. My issue again is though, Tyson's had a no knockout fight. That's his most recent fight. Is Tyson still going to be partly in no knockout mode? You know?
Yeah.
And when you look at Tyson in like the conferences and in the speeches and stuff, he doesn't show that fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. A big part of Tyson's like that's because I don't take him seriously. But a big part of Tyson's career has revolved around fear. And if Tyson's not taking Jake Paul seriously, is Tyson scared of him? Very early on, Tyson said, the reason why I accepted this was because I go to things that scare me. And of course, we found that that is because of how he was taught from Customato that fire, that fear should be projected. You should use fear. Customato would say that the coward and the hero, I don't know, both feel the same thing, but the coward uses that to run away, whereas the hero uses that to fight with. Interesting, isn't it? Where you use your emotions and you put them into certain actions. You let them out. You exert those energies through certain channels. And Tyson's been trained to use his fear in the ring. What if Tyson's not scared? What's he going to use? What I find interesting is a lot of sources say that power is the last thing to leave you. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. But it makes sense. It makes so much sense. So we were watching the fight the other day, weren't we? We were watching Frank Bruno versus Mike Tyson. And that went a good few rounds. It's about 5 rounds. So they're both kind of getting tired. But Tyson still had his stamina and his batteries and his energy. Now, Bruno was massive compared to Tyson. And you would think that the bigger person, the heavier person, the more muscular is the more powerful. But it wasn't the case. Tyson is able to generate more power. And that's what this is about. When age is a factor, you still maintain that experience and you still maintain that technique, that knowledge of how to generate power, how to handle your own body, your own physique, how to handle your own weight, put it in the right places, get good footing, all that experience, all that technique which is used to generate power, Tyson still has that. And it's not as if he's going to lose that with age. He'll keep that technique on how to throw a punch, how to make it a deadly one, when to throw it. And that's where power comes in. And that's not something which you're going to really lose with age. He might lose accuracy, But power, they're all saying power is the last thing to go, and his it's Padman, his last opponent, Roy Jones. Roy Jones was saying this all depends on how much Jake can handle. This all depends on how much Jake can survive. And that's Tyson's most recent opponent. You know what I mean? So they're all saying Tyson's still got it, still got the power. And yeah, that's wild. Now Jake Paul, right? I had some of his boxing history. In fact, let me go and get it 1 second. One thing actually, before I go through Jake Paul's history, is I was wondering, right? So Jake Paul has beat a lot of people. Okay, he's beat like the pick and mix of people on screen and like combat fighters and all this lot, right? But I was thinking, like, MMA guys, why can't they box? Striking is a big part, not a big part, as we're about to see. Striking is part of MMA. It's an important part of MMA. If it's done right, it can get you like a big lead in a fight. But when it comes to MMA, other things are more important. Grappling, knowing how to break someone's arm or break someone's leg or defend against that, working in the clinch, all of that stuff is actually more valuable in MMA. That's why they can't box. And I was thinking, well, that's actually pretty strange, really. I was like, that's pretty crazy. But it's because they don't train for it. Whereas a boxer is just going to train one-dimensionally, just for throwing punches and throwing them really well. So that's why Jake Paul beat MMA guys. Because they don't train for boxing. And they basically don't need to. It's because it's not an efficient use of their time and training, so they don't do it. So there you go. That's what was going on. Okay, now we're going to go through Jake Paul's fighting history. Alright. And I'm just going to get the most recent one out of the way first, because it's not like properly on the list. Most recently, Jake Paul fought Mike Perry, who was a UFC and bare knuckle fighter. And Jake Paul basically beat Mike Perry in a 6th round TKO. Alright. That was Mike Perry, so he was UFC. Now, let's go through the history of Jake Paul's fighting, right? So, first fight, January 30th, 2020. He fought Anderson Gibb, aged 23. Anderson Gibb was aged 23. So basically, his first fight was against a YouTuber. Alright. Congratulations. Okay, well done. The next one was Nate Robinson, former NBA player. Why are you boxing NBA players? Fair enough. Nate Robinson, aged 36, and Paul beat him out. So Paul beat him, knocked him out in 2nd round. Okay, NBA player. Ben Askren, UFC fighter and Olympic wrestler, making his boxing debut. Known for grappling rather than striking, lost to Paul via 1st round TKO. UFC fighter Ben Askren, he was aged 36, and that was in April 2021. August 2021, Jake Paul fought a 39-year-old Tyron Woodley, alright, who is a UFC welterweight champion, and Paul won by split decision after 8 rounds. They had a rematch in December 2021, and in this one, Jake Paul won by knockout in the 6th round. So he fought that UFC guy twice. Anderson Silva, legendary MMA fighter, aged 47, and this was in October 2022, and Jake Paul won by a unanimous decision after 8 rounds. So that's MMA fighter, Legendary Anderson Silva. And then Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury was age 23, and he was actually like the first boxer who Jake Paul fought against, right? And it was a split. So he handed Paul his first professional loss via split decision. Okay, so this was Jake Paul's first loss, February 26th, 2023, Tommy Fury. I'm going to come back to this fight in a second. Let's go on to Nate Diaz, last of the list, but of course not his most recent fight. His most recent fight again was Mike Perry, and basically he fought him in July of 2024. That's when Jake Paul was supposed to have fought Tyson, but because the Tyson fight was cancelled, Jake Paul got Mike Perry in. Okay. Anyway, the last one on my list over here is Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz, legendary, isn't it? I mean, Nate Diaz is a legend from MMA. And known for his striking and endurance. So this is probably the closest it's going to get to like an MMA boxer, right? And Paul knocked down Diaz in the 5th round and won by unanimous decision. So Diaz can take every punch on earth. You can just keep punching that guy in the face for as long as you want, and not only does he like not get knocked out, but he keeps coming towards you for more punches.
Wow.
Yeah. So really, Nate Diaz could be a really good pressure fighter. He could be a really good one. I really liked what Nate Diaz said about Jake Paul. He was like, we know this MF can't really fight. We know he can't really fight. Saying that MMA is really fighting, boxing isn't. So if you want to really fight, you should be MMA, not boxing. So he was sticking up for his MMA fans there. Now, coming back to the Tommy Fury fight. So this is the first time when Jake Paul has actually had a fight with a boxer. Jake Paul versus a boxer, right? And so Tommy Fury had his ways of generating power, capitalizing on it, finding his spaces and where he's going to damage Jake Paul, at least where he's going to win points. I think if there was another fight, a rematch, I think that Tommy Fury would have gone further and given us more of a show and more of an annihilation of Jake Paul. But this was frustrating Jake Paul. When they were fighting, Jake wasn't liking the fact that this opposition is able to generate power, capitalize, and put me in places I don't want to be in. He's able to get shots in. And that was frustrating Jake Paul. And Tyson... See, Tyson's not going to do that. Tyson's not going to be given chances to be frustrated. When Tyson gets that chance, he's going to knock him out. That's just Tyson's style. And so the clips that are coming out, right, of Tyson, like Tyson in camp, Tyson training, you just see like a 3-second clip of Tyson just like throwing a whirlwind of punches. Yeah. And people are saying, it's a 3-second clip, it's a 4-second clip. Anyone can look good for 3 or 4 seconds. But it's like, no, wait. That is Tyson's style. That's what Tyson does. Tyson doesn't like keep throwing little jabs here and there. That's not really how Tyson works. That's very much a Mayweather thing. That's a kind of a defensive boxer type thing. Keep measuring with the jab, keep seeing if you're in range or not, right? Tyson doesn't do that. Tyson is always positioning. That's what Tyson's doing. Tyson is always positioning. And not only is he always positioning, but he's looking for openings. That's what he's constantly doing. And when he finds it, that's when those 3 seconds will feel like a lifetime. That's what he does. So those 3 seconds that people are seeing on clips, that's what he's going to do. He's just going to wait, defend, dodge, get in position, and then 3 seconds of absolute hell. And then he's going to see if you're still standing or not. If you're standing, he's going to repeat the cycle. If you're not standing, then, well, job done, isn't it? But that's what he does. He's going to stand there, he's going to keep going around, dancing around, getting into spots, getting next to you, getting where he wants to get you, and then every punch on earth that you just never expected. And then wait, see how you're doing. And just repeat, repeat, repeat. And one thing about Tyson is, when any boxer smells blood, when they think, okay, I got you, I'm going to capitalise, yeah. When any boxer does that, most of the time, not most, a third of the time, yeah, the boxer who's getting beaten can get out of it. But with Tyson, when he smells blood, when he thinks, oh, I've wobbled you, that's it. You are not coming back. Once he's wobbled someone, chances of them coming back, slim. Got to be very strong. Like giant. Yeah, like Frank Bruno for a second there, he took some shots, he came back. But Jake Paul is not going to have it. If Jake Paul does it, it's going to be a lucky shot. It's going to be a lucky shot. I think that it would be wise for the referee to be on guard, for the team to be on guard, towel in hand, and just save their fighter. It's on your record. You can say you fought Mike Tyson. Just come out safe and healthy. That's where their focus should be. Because it's still Mike Tyson. And he says it himself. So what makes you think you're going to beat him? How are you going to beat Jake Paul? And he goes, well, I'm Mike Tyson. Iron Mike Tyson. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. And I think, again, this should be his last fight. This should be his last fight. Just for his own safety and stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
16, basically.
Basically 60, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because he's, 58, right? And Jake Paul's 28, isn't it? Jake's like, my birthday is the same birthday as Customado because I'm going to teach you, blah, blah, blah. And Tyson's just not biting. So it is an interesting situation. It's an interesting fight.
I think they're going to, like, drag it. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to be like a 1 round, 2 round thing. I think they'll try and drag it, and then hopefully we'll see Tyson win. I mean, I will have doubts if Tyson doesn't win.
Oh, okay, like a bit of a fix.
Yeah. I think a lot of people think that.
That there's risk of fix here.
Yeah.
Some people have said that it could be scripted. I think that was Tyson's old trainer, Teddy something. But he seems to be giving hater vibes.
But yeah, I'm sure it'll be entertaining anyhow.
So I think with that, do you reckon that both boxers, that there's a chance they could both come out of this safe? Just like a very tap each other fight. Make it look like we're fighting, but we're not.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, the thing about this fight for me is it really could go in any direction.
I mean, I've not really seen much of their training videos.
Not a lot's been released,
but I'm sure they're both training really hard.
Yeah.
But just taking into consideration Tyson's age, he's not as fit as he was before. He's not his prime exactly.
Not his prime,
whereas, Jake is, you could argue, is his prime.
Or coming into it.
Yeah, I get that, he's had to put weight on, etc., but I do think there's a chance of him winning.
Yeah, I think that there's a chance.
Yeah, there's always a chance.
There's always a chance, yeah. It depends on how good his defence is, how much he can take. And like you just said about Jake Paul putting weight on, apparently boxers, when they put weight on, they feel stronger. They think they're stronger because they look bigger. But apparently the power doesn't follow you up. So when you go up weights, the power doesn't follow you up. Tyson is basically at his natural weight, so it's just a normal day for him, literally a really normal day. So yeah, and Jake Paul might struggle moving, carrying that extra weight, manoeuvring under it, getting his punches off. I found that interesting as well, actually. Like, power doesn't follow you up. That is interesting, that. But it makes sense. If you're not used to that, then it's going to throw off your techniques.
Yeah, it's like clumsy weight,
Yeah,
isn't it? You're
Yeah.
just carrying
yeah.
the extra.
And it's gonna sap his energy as well. I reckon there's going to be a lot of Jake Paul leaning on Tyson. There's going to be a lot of leaning going on. That's a Tyson.
Yeah.
That's a thing. When people fight Tyson, they grab him.
Yeah.
That's their only safe spot. Is like, if I hold him, I'm not going to get punched. That's as safe as
Yeah.
it goes. The thing I want to say is, if we see Tyson punching his own head, that's what they do. It's like, they kind of like get a feel for it, and they get the gloves and they punch himself in the head a few times. I want to say that if we see Tyson punch himself in the head a few times, and you guys, you boxing viewers know what I mean, if we see that, Tyson's definitely going to win. That's what I want to say, right? Because I feel like if we see Tyson do the head thing, the head punching thing, then I feel like he's in the zone. He's treating it seriously. He's going to get him. But then I don't want to say that if we don't see him do that, he's going to lose. I don't want to be saying that. Because I know that there's fights as well where Tyson just goes in. He doesn't even do the head punching like thing. He just shakes his neck and head around a bit and then just goes for it. But yeah, all I hope is that Tyson doesn't hold back. Jake Paul's health and safety is not in Tyson's hands. That's in Jake Paul's team, and it's in the refs' hands. It's not in Tyson's hands. Tyson's job is to go in there and knock the guy out. But I feel like Tyson's too friendly now.
Yeah, they are very friendly, aren't they?
Yeah, they're friendly. I mean,
There's a level of respect there as well, so it's...
Jake Paul's there saying he's in my top 4, top 5 legendary all-time boxers. You know what I mean?
Top 2, I think he said.
Yeah, top 2.
Muhammad Ali and him.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, how can I knock you out if you said that? How can I knock you out? You said that like 2 days ago. I'm knocking you out now.
Yeah. The pigeon gift was funny.
Oh, the pigeon gift was well good. Yeah, that was really good. That was actually really funny as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I'm going to feed it to my... Was it eagle? Hawk or something like that? I'll just feed it to my hawk. And then he gets it out. And then I love it because he took it out of the cage and it stopped the whole face-off. Because they're all like... And Jake Paul's like going, I've never seen somebody handle a pigeon before. So he's just like watching him handling a pigeon. and then Tyson's there going, oh, it's a really cheap breed. It's a cheap...
Cheap looking
cheap
pigeon.
pedigree.
Yep, cheap pedigree.
It's got no band on it. Nobody cares about this. And Jake Paul's like, we paid thousands for that. That was crazy. And that just makes it all the more unique because, again, I bet Tyson's never had anybody bring him a gift like that. He was like, I can't take it with me. Well, as soon as that bird came, Tyson was just like fixated on it. Just like, yeah, I'm not in the room no more. It's just me and this bird. It's amazing. That's part of Tyson's life, isn't it? And his life has just been... His life is such a life. I'd probably like it if like other legends led a life like him. Where he's had his career, he's had his like history, become an absolute legend, an absolute gem, and then he's come back and he's back in the spotlight and he's talking to people, he's imparting all of his knowledge. I would have loved to have seen Muhammad Ali do that, Bruce Lee do that. You know, I would have loved to have seen like that.
Yeah.
Even Michael Jackson, you know, like Jacko come out and do that. And like it makes me think sometimes, like, what would it be like if Tupac was still around? You know, because like these are all of the same generation. These were all like youth at the same time or at their peak at the same time. I know that Jada would leave Will Smith for him. That'd be done. And Tupac would be like friend zoning her, like, look, no, I see you like a sister. You know what I mean? Proper, she was friend zoned. Jada does not know how much she was friend zoned by Tupac. Do you know that she thinks that like he was mad about her or something? Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know Madonna. I can't believe Tupac went out with Madonna. Yeah, just quick note. Did you know? This is the did you know of Tyson for you guys. Tyson feels a sense of guilt for Tupac's passing away. I didn't know that. But yeah, apparently Tyson feels a sense of guilt for Tupac passing away because on the night that Tupac passed away, Tupac had gone to see Tyson's fight. They were in Las Vegas. The fight was at the MGM Grand, I believe, and Tupac was there. He'd watched the fight. He'd gone back to his hotel or whatever and stuff. And then shortly after that, he was attacked. But Tyson was the one who really wanted to make sure that Tupac was in Las Vegas for the fight. There was some media, I think it was some music or something, that involved Tyson, and Tyson really wanted to see it, wanted to hear it, wanted it to be there. She was like, make sure you come, make sure you bring the music, make sure you come. And then of course Tupac came, and that was it. It's so wild that like right now Tyson's in the spotlight.
Yeah, and so is Tupac.
So is Diddy. Oh
well, yeah, Tupac, from the consequence of Diddy's case.
Yeah, and it's weird.
It
like,
is.
Literally, right now, Tyson's in the spotlight, and that's one side of Tupac, and Diddy's in the spotlight, and that's the other side of Tupac. And it's like they were both at either sides of it. One innocent and actually your friend, and one real life villain. And do you know what? I find it mad that Diddy was dressed as the Joker not long ago, like only about probably less than a year ago. He went round dressed like the Joker, and he was actually really good. Honestly, I thought he was a really good Joker. Some guy came up to him because Diddy did something inappropriate. Classic Diddy. Did something inappropriate to some guy, yeah. And the guy came over to him like proper in his face, like gonna knock him out. And Diddy, in full Joker get-up, was just there like still laughing, still being weird and giggling, and gets his arm and puts it around the guy like we're mates. The guy like pushes his arm off and like wants to knock out Diddy. And Diddy's just there like just proper chilled. Yeah. Crazy. He's a real life villain.
Yeah.
It's wild. It is.
So good.
Yeah. One thing back on Tyson is we're not seeing that fire that was there. We've not... Basically, there's nobody who's ever shown that ferocity, that fire, like Tyson. The things Tyson said, he was talking about eating people's offspring. That's what he said. I'll eat your children and stuff. That's what he would say to his enemies. Yeah, like the guy he's going to fight, blah, 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 I kill you, blah, 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 I do this, I get you, like proper, like to the camera, like on screen, like, yeah, he was going for people. And now he's just laughing. Now he's laughing and pushing Jake Paul for fun.
And playing with pigeons.
Playing with pigeons, yeah. Proper chilling. So, I don't know what's going to happen. It's...
I think people are there for Tyson, though, aren't they? People are there to see him win. So let's hope he,
Tyson himself said that. Yeah, he was like, yeah, this happened because of me. This wouldn't have happened for anybody else.
Yeah.
Which is bang on true,
And he's getting a lot of money for it, so fairs.
Yeah. I didn't like that how Jake Paul was then turning it and being like, do you want 3-minute rounds? 10 3-minute rounds? That's what you want? Do you want 3 10s? You wanted 2 8s. You wanted 2-minute round 8 of them. That's what you wanted. Do you want to make it 3? Like that. And I was like, come on, that's a bit... People were like, that's quite disrespectful. That's quite disrespectful. Like, respect the legend over here. Calm down. Don't be disrespectful to the guy.
Part of the act, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all part of the act.
Yeah, all part of the act. Yeah. Tyson was funny. He was on like autopilot. He was just there going, he was going to say, let's go. Then he was just like, let's calm down, be good. It was on like just pressing Tyson responses, just mashing Tyson responses. It's like, be careful. I think Tyson thinks that this generation can't handle the old Tyson. He can't say the things that I used to say.
Yeah.
He used to say some crazy things.
He's a lot calmer now.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
very zen.
He is very zen.
Yeah. At these events, he doesn't speak. He doesn't speak much.
No, he doesn't, not anymore.
He's very
No.
quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a different direction on things.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not happy with the time though. It'll be 4 a.m. apparently, around 4 a.m. when they walk out.
That's the thing. So they've said it's going to be at 1 a.m. in the actual like event.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's just going to take ages and ages and ages. Then it's going to get to the main event. And yeah.
You'll have to set alarm on.
Yeah, no, I will. I will. I'll just take it easy. It's what?
It's 10 p.m. their time, so it'll be about 4 a.m. Depending on how quick the other fights are.
Yeah.
It could be a bit earlier, so I'd say between 3 and 4 a.m.
I love that it's on Netflix.
Yeah,
That is so good.
got a good deal there, haven't they?
They must have. I love that because like they're letting the world watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like it when it's on these awkward like pay-per-view ones. There's some awkward ones I find, and it can be a bit tricky and a bit annoying to like just get it even going. But this is on Netflix. It's going to go boom. It's going to be wild. The news is going to be crazy. I want to know how money works in promotions, because I know that money works in. You make a lot of money from promoting fights. That's why, like, Jake Paul's got his own promotion company. That's why Mayweather had his own promotion company. So you just basically pay yourself to promote the fight, and you do well off it. So I really wonder. Do you know what, guys? One thing I want to mention is I'm pretty sure that Jake Paul, as best he can, is trying to follow the Mayweather blueprint. Yeah. And what I mean by that is, firstly, of course, setting up his own promotion company. That's one. But mainly, he wants to be hated. There's money in being hated. It goes down as controversial, but in boxing or in combat, it keeps eyes on you. Being hated, being the villain, is what keeps eyes on you. And whatever is keeping eyes on you is getting tickets sold. Yeah. So when you think about McGregor as well, for example, McGregor was villain. That was his thing. But the ultimate villain, the most crafted, was Mayweather. And it was very well known that people go to Mayweather fights to try and watch him lose, to try and see the day he gets beat. That's what it's about. But of course, undefeated. So, even more legendary. Jake Paul, well, he's already had like a loss under his belt. Yeah. But he really is trying to put himself into that position of villain, hated. You just want to watch me to see me fail and watch me lose. And there's money in that. Floyd Mayweather really made that blueprint, really made that template.
It's a bit wild that he went from fighting, what's it called, Fury,
Fury.
a few months ago and lost.
Yeah.
He went from that guy to Tyson.
Yeah. It's just mad that he's gone from YouTube to this. But this is the thing, right? People are saying that the YouTube boxing is really good because it falls outside of a lot of the regulation and rules and the red tape that comes with boxing. And so if you're able to like make your own event, run it all yourself, set all of your rules, set up all your contracts, if you can do that and you can circumvent, just bypass all of like proper boxing rules and stuff, then you've smashed it.
They can see the money in it.
The money, yes.
Potential, so, that's why it's so big now.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the best YouTube fighter, boxer?
In my opinion, the best YouTube boxer is Slim. Slim, for his weight class, he is the best. Slimmy Slim, I forgot, his real name is Salim. I've forgotten like his proper name, but it's Slim. You'll know who Slim is. New York. He's the best. Like, he's really thin, skinny, but he can proper generate power. Like when he fought Fuzi, and he made a joke out of Fuzi, right? Fuzi was like massive, and even Slim's family, like his own mum and stuff, and his dad, all this, his family was like, "Oh my god, look at Fuzi. I think you should pull out the fight. I think you should pull out the fight." Loads of people telling him to pull out the fight, you know. But he believed in himself. He was like, "No, no, no, I got this." And in front of Fuzi's face, he was fearless.
Yeah.
Slim was fearless. And then in the ring, honestly, it's amazing. Slim fights like that's what he's been doing for ages.
Yeah. He's confident. He was very confident.
And his technique, so many different things are like proper bang on. And do you know what? I really like his trainer. His trainer's brilliant. His trainer, I'm pretty sure he's been world champion or held one of the belts. I'm pretty sure he has been at one point. Might have been Olympic, but I'm pretty sure he's been world champion. But his trainer, like proper trained Slim, like proper honest training, wants him to win, proper watches all the details. And he's, in my opinion, he's very humble as well. Really good character. And he's trained Slim to be a beast. Slim's brilliant. Slim's really good. Salt Pappy is, for me, a bit of a dark horse too. You look at him, you never know, right? He's got like levels of chub and stuff, right? But the things he can pull off, very impressive. But for me, still Slim. In fact, I don't even like what KSI did. KSI was finally going to give Slim a shot, but he wasn't going to give Slim a shot by himself. It was one of these where I'm going to fight you, Slim, and then after I've knocked you out, in the same fight, I'm going to get another boxer in. So it was two people versus KSI. But apparently KSI's pulled out of that, and he's just gone cold. He ain't talking about it no more. The event's disappeared. And yeah, Slim feels a bit jilted. But Slim, he's actually a very good boxer. Really good technique. Really, really impressive. While we're here, might as well talk about AJ super quick. I think AJ's career is basically over. He's got a problem of like underestimating people. And I think that can be your worst enemy in boxing. So when he underestimates somebody, he loses to him. Okay, think about when he fought that big Mexican dude. But then when he fights them second time round, he knocks them out. So when he actually fights like a proper technical boxer, he's got it. But when he doesn't, which is normally, he fights like he's off his game. That's how he fights. So I think it's basically over for AJ. I think that he should take the advice he's getting from like other experienced, really seasoned boxers. And they're saying like, hang up the gloves, let it go. Maybe at best have your last rematch with that guy who he fought recently. I've forgotten his name. Dubois, yeah. So he should, if he can, get that rematch and then see you later. But I don't think he's even going to get that rematch. I'm pretty sure Dubois is moving on. But yeah, that's the AJ situation at the minute. This fight, I think that it's amazing to be able to be looking forward to a Tyson fight. That is an extremely rare thing, and only getting more and more rare as days go on. So it is great to be able to be looking forward to a Mike Tyson fight. I do wonder how it's going to turn out. It could go either way. I hope that both boxers leave the ring safely, no lasting damage. That's the ideal situation. But it's one of those where either of them are at risk. If this is not scripted, then either boxer really is at risk of taking some serious damage.
Ray said Jake will win.
All right, so Ray thinks Jake Paul's going to win, yeah? What?
Yeah.
He thinks Jake Paul's going to... Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. No. You see, now
He
Jake...
thinks if Tyson wins, then it's scripted.
No.
Jake's actually quite good. He said he beat some decent fighters lately and made them look stupid. But yeah. And he's in his 20s, more, powerful, athletic. So he thinks Tyson will get knocked out, and the age thing, he's like 60. But yeah, a dangerous one. But he thinks Jake will win.
Whoa, he actually thinks Jake's going to win.
Yeah, he actually thinks it'll be scripted if Tyson wins.
Wow, that's interesting.
Whereas, like, I'm with some other people and think it's scripted if Tyson loses.
If Tyson loses. Yeah. You see, the thing is, yes, Jake Paul has legitimately beat people, but he's beat people because those are not boxers. But then it calls into question, is Jake Paul even a boxer? So if Jake Paul is a boxer and he's fighting non-boxers, then it makes sense for him to have beat them. You know? No, Jake Paul has got some things. He's got some skill. He can beat average Joe. But anybody with some degree of skill, like Tommy Fury showed him, somebody who's got some degree of skill, some real passion for boxing, something where it actually really matters to them, that's where Jake Paul loses. That's where Jake Paul falls out of the category, really. Again, for me, it comes down to whether or not Tyson is going to hold back or not. Does Tyson actually care about Jake Paul? Is he worried about him? Is he going to hold back? Jake Paul is seeing this as a passing of the torch. He's like, that's what this is. You're passing the torch to me, and I'm going to be the next greatest boxer ever.
Wild.
Not impossible, but I think looking at the current record, not likely. He's fought too much of a mix of people. He's fought an NBA player, let me reiterate. Which boxer challenges an NBA player?
Did he win?
He won. I know, it's weird, isn't it? The weird thing is, how's he winning? Why is he winning? But he is winning. And it is a bit weird that he's winning MMA fighters, in my opinion. MMA fighters should have stamina, should be able to take a punch, should be able to find gaps and, cause some damage. But it looks like they can't when it comes to boxing. I still find it strange, even though I have covered that they, of course, MMA fighters don't train for boxing as much as everything else, which makes sense in their, category.
Fury won by split decision as well in February.
Yeah.
The last one.
Yeah, he won by split decision, so not every judge saw it as, a Tommy Fury win. But a win is a win, and he won it.
Yeah.
And there are certain points in the fight where you really can see Tommy Fury boxing, like proper boxing. So, there's somebody else who said, all Tyson needs to do is be a little bit better than Tommy Fury. And that's it. That's it. Is that possible? Is that likely? Yes and yes. All Tyson's got to do is show some prowess, show some power, and the job's done. I reckon that Tyson will be able to inflict enough damage on Jake Paul for Jake to throw towel in. Throw towel in, stay down for the count, or retire from the fight. If Jake is smart, that's what he'll do. When he takes serious damage and thinks, okay, I'm in over my head here, this is too much, Jake should stop. That's what I think. People say that heavyweights have said that being punched by Tyson is, well, one, the hardest they've ever been hit, and two, it's like being hit by a train. That's what real boxers, real heavyweights have said. And again, his most recent fight, Roy Jones, has said that Tyson has still got it.
When was that, though?
The Roy Jones fight was in 2020, 2021. Not long ago. Not really. Tyson does look different between now and then, though.
Yeah.
He has aged a fair bit between now and then.
Yeah.
All right, it's been a few years, but a fair bit of age. But Tyson loves it. Tyson loves boxing. He loves it. That's his thing.
Yeah.
you know? It could really be a very symbolic fight. It could be interesting, like
Yeah.
Customato's birthday and all that lot. And Customato, like, kind of introduced Tyson to boxing. Somebody else actually introduced Tyson to boxing, and then Customato came in, spotted him, and was like, I summoned you. And took him under his wing and took him to where he basically is now. Yeah. People are also saying that, like, Tyson, the end of your career, you were not at your best. You were boxing and you were losing. That was the end of your career. So, do you think you're going to come back now better than before? Because at the end of your career, which we have seen, you weren't winning. That's kind of tragic. It's kind of sad to see, like, your legend in that state, if you know what I mean. But Tyson's picking the right fights. You know, Roy Jones, Jake Paul. He's picking the right fights, capitalising on his name, and everyone loves Tyson. Who doesn't love Tyson? Tyson's amazing. He's a great character. He thought Hezbollah was a baby. Let's not forget. He thought Hezbollah was a real baby. Oh, I feel sorry for Hezbollah. But that is just classic Tyson, you know what I mean?
Proper.
You know? But yeah, like, I wish all the best, of course, to Tyson. Tyson's a legend. I want to see him win. I want to see him win well. Just walk out of there and chill. That's what I want Tyson to be doing. So that's what I'm hoping for. But you never know. He might be cautious. Might be a really weird, cautious fight. Like Mayweather versus Pacquiao. That was a weird, cautious fight. That was a really mad fight, you know. So basically, Mayweather held off fighting Pacquiao for ages and ages and ages, right? And then fought him when he's way past his prime. And it was actually really smart as well. Obviously, Mayweather is the master of defense. And the way he defended against Pacquiao, just genius. The placement of his, like, front fist was, like, really far forward. His front foot was really far forward. And his setup was one that just wouldn't let Pacquiao come into range. So Pacquiao just couldn't get into range to hit Mayweather. And that was basically how the fight went. Pacquiao just trying to get in range, fighting to get in range all the way through. But it was at least the fight happened, you know what I mean? But I just hope that, this fight doesn't go in that way. I hope the fight doesn't start off cautious, let's just dance around a bit, I hope it doesn't start off like that. Really cautious, avoiding each other. That's what I don't want. But there is a risk of that happening. There's a risk, because Jake Paul's going to be scared. So he's going to be on defence mode going in. Tyson, his default setting is not defence, it's attack. But I'm sure he's going to respect his age and his opponent's age. And maybe there'll be a degree of caution there. But I suppose time will tell. The fight is around the corner. It's just literally a couple of days away. I think that they've had, like, their last days of camp. So their actual training camp is basically over. And now it's just going to be, like, bits of keeping things sharp between now and that bell ringing. I think we'll call this one here. It's going to be an amazing fight to watch. And again, it's great to be able to be looking forward to a Tyson fight. So being in a position where we are awaiting a Tyson fight, we are...
Do you think it'll be a knockout?
Yeah.
How many rounds?
I think it's going to be a knockout. I think it's not going to go further than 2 rounds.
Really?
Yeah. Because this is Tyson.
Tyson at 60.
I know, but, like, it's no further than 2 rounds, knockout. I think Jake Paul's not going to get a lucky punch in. It will have to be a lucky punch, and he ain't going to get a lucky punch in. He definitely isn't going to get a measured punch in, a measured, deliberate, intentional punch in. He definitely is not going to get one of those. So that's definitely not going to happen. So he's going to have to rely on lucky punch. And he ain't going to get a lucky punch in. Tyson's too quick, too smart. So, yeah, within 2 rounds, knockout to Tyson. Job done. They're saying that Jake Paul's going to have to take Tyson into deep waters. So that means he's going to have to like tire out Tyson, gas him out, you know, make him go like long rounds, tire him out. And then when he's weak, vulnerable, then like get him when he's weak.
That's what I think he's going to do.
Yeah, you reckon? That's what you were saying, innit?
Yeah, that's what I think. I think he's going to drag him 5, at least 4th, and then actually start fighting.
The thing is, like, Jake Paul will have to try and survive as far as that.
Yeah, that's true.
Taking Tyson to deep waters means you've got to try and survive getting to that situation yourself.
Yeah.
And against Tyson.
But I think that's his, like, best bet.
That is his best bet. Gas him out. That's his best bet.
Yeah, he probably will have to do that. He probably will do that, I think.
This is going to have to be the best Jake Paul defence we've ever seen. This will have to be the pinnacle of Jake Paul's defence.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I will call it there, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. I will do a post-fight video, and we will see how it goes. All right, guys. Tyson to win within 2 rounds KO. All right, guys. See you in the next one, and see you later. Have a good one. Take it easy. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, 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 bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, 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 bye.